podcast in 3, 2. Hello, everybody! Welcome to another episode of Analytical Fanboys, a monthly media cast where one of us picks a piece of media, we engage with it however we need to engage with it, and then we talk about it. I'm your host, well, one of three, Boingo. With me, of course, are the other two hosts.
Boingo.
And Boingo. We've done this joke before, dang it.
Boingo, Boingo, and Boingo at law.
It's a classic joke.
Boing, boing, and boingy.
You could almost say that joke has been resurrected on this specific...
Oh yeah, we're recording this on Easter.
We're recording this on Sunday, so everybody, happy Easter. Also, happy Trans Day of Visibility. And happy continued Ramadan.
Yeah, happy 25th anniversary of The Matrix.
And what's the other one? Oh, I don't know the exact day it's on. Happy Passover.
A lot of holidays happening.
Oh, it's almost as if it's like an important time period of the year for human history. Who would have thought? Speaking of human history, there's a lot of allusions in that to the piece of media that was picked out by Cody. Why don't you tell us about Metropolis?
Well, Metropolis is an animated movie. So I'm not actually going to know about. I think you said his name is Rintaro.
Rintaro
I don't know much about the director or the writer or anything like that. I found this movie originally back when I used to surf like HBO and Stars and stuff like that on on-demand cable. So I randomly found this movie and clicked play and was immediately taken by the beautiful backdrops. I also was interested in it because I recognized it to be some sort of reference or redo of the original like Metropolis. One of the first like robot things out there, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And I love robots, so of course I loved this regardless of context.
Yeah, actually, Cody, I wanted to bring this up. This is the second piece of media you've recommended in a row that has to do with a robot like uprising and tensions and shit like that, or like people in the down, like the slumps fighting people in the upfront. Because Motor City was also about that. So.
You know what? That is correct. That is interesting. That's a
favorite type of media.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess. I mean, I do see that connection there for sure.
I mean,
I can think of other things I like that, like Astro Boy.
Yeah, you also told us to watch Gundam, and while it doesn't have the exact same overarching plots and elements, it's still mecha. It's still robots.
Yeah.
Gundam is its own thing, though.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't like it because it's not robots, because I do like it because it is robots.
Well, here's the thing. Good movie. First things first. Well, I'll just say this. I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah. Same here.
Me and Buster have a little bit more manga knowledge, so we can start talking a little bit about that, because this is based off of Tezuka's works.
Yeah. Now, I'll be frank. I've only read a couple of Osamu Tezuka things. I think there have been like one-shots. I think but so I'm not. I do know about him. His legacy. It kind of speaks for itself. Honestly, it's a very well-known legacy. Like Astro Boy. The closest thing I've gone to like watching like a full Tezuka thing is like Pluto, but that's not real. That's more like based on his characters that like written by him.
And this is very similar in that situation. We'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah, but like his character designs, like while they are very much inspired by Disney, there is a very distinct flair, Japanese flair to it that like makes them very charming.
I say there's Disney. I also say there's a little bit of Popeye in the designs.
Yeah, I can see some Popeye, and it's like I like Tezuka's designs because a lot of them are very like cutesy and charming, but they're often put in these like very dour situations.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, your mention of Astro Boy a minute ago is very apt. Same dude, same initial creative.
Yep. See, I thought I remembered that, but I didn't confidently feel like that because I think I mentioned something like that when I brought it up. But yeah, definitely for sure. I mean, it looks like it. You know, he's got like all the characters have the big, interesting arms and shapes and stuff like that. Also, the scientists just kind of feel like Mega Man villains, which is also cool.
I mean, once you learn about Tezuka, Mega Man just seems like the most blatant of blatant ripoffs.
Yeah, or homages.
Yeah, but so yeah. But also, this isn't exactly like the Metropolis manga, because he had a manga basically that was this plot line, And they did a lot of changes to the adaptation.
Yeah, because if I remember right, the manga was like loosely based on the like 27, like as a description, not even the film itself, just a loose description Tezuka heard about the 1927 film, and he just like, well, I'm gonna make a manga about that because I can't watch it yet.
Yeah. But just like looking through some like changes on, I found a thing of like some changes, minor changes they made. So one of the characters is actually like two characters put together. Timo is actually like two characters in the manga.
Well, yeah, that honestly, that kind of change makes sense because it was a rough story, so it's like, hey, it just condensed the characters of like the character functions, for lack of a better word.
Rock isn't even from the original story. He's from a different Tezuka story, Next World.
Next World, yeah. He kind of does feel like a stranger in terms of like character design and like attitude, which I do like.
And this one's kind of a very obvious thing. Atlas. He's not from the original manga. He's from Astro Boy.
Oh.
He's Atlas from Astro Boy.
Interesting.
But they inverted his motivation.
Yeah. No, I personally watched it subbed, so I didn't know, like, I didn't recognize any of the dub actors or the voice actors. Did you guys watch it dub or sub?
I watched it dubbed, in which I had that thought while watching it. I think it was earlier today when I watched it. One of the main reasons why I picked this movie is because I love its use of music, but does it follow the same music, like the same use of music?
I watched it subbed, and it has a lot of American big band and blues.
Yeah,
okay, then yes. Ray Charles at the end.
Yep.
Yeah, Ray Charles at the end. Yeah, this is one of those, like, they went all out with the production. This is good. I think this might have been one of the last cell animated. Like, I checked. This is the most expensive anime film up at the time until being like surpassed by Steam Boy in 2004. Yeah. So like you can see the budget bleeding. This was like one
Steam
of
Boy's really good.
Oh yeah, we got to check that out eventually. But like, yeah, it's very interesting. Like just the visual design. I know it kind of speaks for itself, but it's still something to admire, especially with all the complex technical like robot parts.
And with all the Art Deco design and diesel punk aesthetic.
Yeah. And I also like, just like back to like the characters, I also like the boy meets robot girl relationship of the main characters. Yeah. And also one of the characters just looks like Q from Street Fighter 3. I wonder if you were gonna mention that, Boy-Go.
Here's the thing. I'm pretty sure Q from Street Fighter 3 looks like him.
Yeah, pretty sure it's like, oh, that's where Street Fighter got its inspiration from.
Well, here's the thing. Street Fighter got its inspiration from Robot Detective K. Robot Detective K probably got his inspiration from this.
True.
Because remember, Ishinomori was a student of Tezuka.
Yeah, honestly, like, that character is the most Ishinomori, like, looking character out of all of these, like, characters in the film. Like, just look from what I know about his design work. I've read Ishinomori manga. I can confirm that.
I mean, there's a reason I kind of... this is only a me thing. It's not a thing anywhere else. But Tezuka's the god of manga. Ishinomori is the king. Go Nagai is the jester.
I can see that.
You know? The laying out the foundation, the person who refined and continued it, and then the one who, like, subverted it.
Yeah.
But back to the movie... It's a good movie, Cody. You picked a good. You picked a good,
really good one. It's been a while since we've covered a movie on this.
I mean, honestly, just even the way I encountered it and everything like that, and the writing and the rewatching. Like for one, the rewatching it's been a while, but I've talked about this movie since like the first time I've watched it continuously, and I'll continuously look up like references to it. And it was just as good as I remembered originally, but also. For me, it's just like it feels like I'm jumping into a pool of like immense detail and like color, like every time I start it up. Like it's very appealing, I guess. And that's primarily why I went for it. That plus the mix of music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the licensed music is very well picked. You can tell they're just like, we have a specific vision, and we want to capture that like really well with that music. So like they had like you could tell like while either writing or animating this, they had this music on in the background.
Yeah, it really works in a lot of ways. Another thing I thought, like another comparison I thought of is whenever it plays Minnie the Moocher, which I think is twice. Thinking about the animation that went, or one of the animations that popularly went with that, back in the day, I think it was like a Betty Boop animation. That aesthetic also very much lends itself to these kinds of characters, like the way that they look in general.
Yeah.
At least there's like a worthy comparison to make.
Yeah, again, Tezuka was very much inspired by American animation, like Disney and like old
Rubber Hose and
Rubber,
and Popeye and all those kind of things. Like it's a very distinct, like, yeah. I don't know.
And also, I want to mention, like, this movie does use like CGs for like some of its background and car vehicles, but I think the low poly actually enhances the. Because, like sometimes in modern anime, you'll find, like, okay, a CGI car that just kind of looks out of place and you just kind of got to deal with it. But, like, here, I think the low polyness, like, adds to the aesthetic because everything's just so well produced and stuff.
It's also the rendering of the CGI and how it's composited into the scene, you know? Like, it's well integrated. The only time I think it wasn't that well integrated was specifically the sailfish while they're in the chief of police office.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it looks like, I don't think it takes away from the scene per se.
No, it doesn't take away from the scene, but it's the most, that is very distinctly a different animation style.
Yeah. But I think it kind of lends itself to like the shock or surprise
the awe
that character has to it. Yeah, there you go, the awe that character has to it in that scene anyways. Mm-hmm. It felt like something I would see. I didn't question it, I guess, is what I would say. I definitely like recognized it, but I didn't like question any part of it. I was like, okay, that's interesting. It felt more intentional than anything, like, regardless, or at least I took it as intentional.
Yeah, but that's another thing. It's just like, because we were trying to like nail down the mood of that scene. This is a very atmospheric movie.
Yeah, like
it wants you to just sit in the moment.
Yeah, it lets, like, there's kind of been a debate going around, like, just I've noticed about how, like, animation, like, should it be carried by the writing? Should it be carried by the visuals? And, like, I think it's a case-by-case basis, but this makes a strong case for visuals do make up, like, your enjoyment of an animated movie because of just how, like, how it lets the scenes breathe with all these, like, very, like, well-done, like, technically impressive shots and shit.
The thing that got me with all the big wide shots of just living in this world, fully realized world and environment. It feels lived in.
Yeah, like there's so much like life to these environments.
That's what I was kind of trying to get to was the people everywhere just moving. Like nobody, there was never a moment where anybody was just standing still for budgetary reasons. You know, everybody was moving. Everybody was shifting around. Everybody was alive.
Yeah, I love the scenes where you're just like looking at like people in the background. It's just like, whoa, they're actually like, they're going places. They're going to work. They're going to grab a food, you know?
They're doing stuff. Like everyone's doing something somewhere. It feels lived in.
Yeah, and I think that like that's probably where a lot of the budget went to, just animating the background stuff. But like, hey, you know, it's the most expensive anime film at the time. You know, do it. Just do that shit. Like, like, if you have the budget and the talent to do it. You know.
And here's the best thing: Tezuka designs really lend themselves to a creation like this because they're simple designs, so you can animate them more frequently.
Yeah, like they are stupid, simplistic, and like easy to draw, but that's what makes them like stand the test of time.
Yeah. So why is it that this movie is hard to like witness outside of the way that most of us witness?
It
probably is just licensing.
Because again, because of the music license in the movie, you got to relicense the music whenever you want to do a re-release.
I think there was a recent DVD re-release. Let me double check.
But other than Ray Charles, the rest of that music should be free.
Public domain. Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
There's still Blu-rays in stock. Like last time I checked, that are like $25 if you want to like experience the movie. And I think it is available on like digital service rental. So it's not like it's not like the film is hard. Oh really? I thought it was on like YouTube rental. Let me check.
And there is also just another thing. It is it is an early aughts anime. Those aren't the most popular things to license. If a company's going to license out an anime, they're going to want the new hot shit that people are going to tune into.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want like as many eyes on this to like appreciate it, I guess.
Yeah, because I consider this like on par with like the 90s, 80s anime classic that everyone quotes of like, this is why anime is art, like your Akiras and Ghost in the Shells. Because like I think that this kind of completes that kind of like trilogy of like cyberpunk stories of sorts.
Oh yeah.
Like when you think about it, it's like, yeah, these are like, you got like Akira was 80s, Ghost in the Shell was 90s, this is 2000s, you know?
Yeah. Like this and Steam Boy, like put them together.
Yeah, like as films. The 2000s rep. Yeah. Because like there's just so much like there's a lot of like topical themes with like the revolutions and like, you know, like AI and robots and shit, which is like, yeah, you know, like that still like applies today, especially like I was like, oh, this hits a bit close to home at certain scenes, you know. Like I'm not sure if it like has aged the best in terms of those themes because they are pretty like simplistic. Now that I think about it, like the character arcs are still complex, but like the actual thing is like this is a thing that happens. All right, moving on. It doesn't really linger on like the revolutionary aspects, at least to me. Like, what do you think, Boygo?
Because the revolution isn't like the revolutionary thought isn't the theme of the movie. That is a symptom of what the movie themes are talking about.
True. Yeah.
Because
I'm not saying this is a flaw. I'm just saying
the movie is talking about automation taking over jobs.
Yeah, and that will lead to revolution. Yeah.
But it also leads to people just being able to live their lives, and it's shown by the upper crust people just not having a problem. But you see it in the downtrodden, and it's like it's the multiple layers of that happens. You know.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not saying those are just. I'm not, like when I talk about these things where it's like, oh, it doesn't focus on this enough. That's not a flaw. That's just what I'm noticing. You know, I feel like some people can like fluctuate where it's like, oh, it doesn't flesh this idea out, but it's like, no, it's not trying to flesh that idea out. It's just showcasing it to like build up to like a bigger thing. You know, that at least that's how I feel. I could be completely off base. Who knows?
But it definitely feels much more of like, hey, if you don't tread carefully with your power and your control and automating and doing all these things, people will be thrown away, cast aside, treated like garbage, and they will respond in turn.
Yeah. And like the robot girl, like, and how she kind of ties into it. She doesn't like. She's basically like at the end of the movie when it's like the big reveal that she's like you're going to change the world. You're a superhuman and shit. Like it's like basically they will like use innocent lives that haven't been like fleshed out enough for like that kind of like to meet means end. Like, you know. It's just. I'm sorry if I'm having a hard time phrasing all of this, but it's a lot. It's a lot, you know.
Sometimes you just gotta talk through an idea, and then you get to the conclusion.
Yeah, like I guess the conclusion I'm coming here is that capitalism will affect everyone, including your children.
But there's also just a lot of little, because I think a lot of it's just more of like power structures.
Yeah,
because we also see the president of the Metropolis area, getting wrapped up in things and using his power and using the people's rebellion as a way to solidify his power, and how he was betrayed, and all these different little elements here and there. And like, there's also the fact that fundamentally one of the main characters is a cop. He's a private detective just trying to figure out what's going on, and his like that's another layer of the power of just like you get what I'm saying. Like he's using it responsibly, other people aren't, and it's all about like trying to get to the truth of what's going on.
Yeah, like the movie deals a lot of conspiracy in terms of that power structure too. So like, and then you have like Rock being an assassin for like people and shit, just trying to.
Him being called Rock and just being red with sunglasses, I'm just keep going like, what the fuck, Proto Man? Hello, Proto Man. How are you doing, Proto Man?
Yeah, he does give off a lot of Proto Man vibes. Unfortunately, he doesn't get a redemption arc like Proto Man, but
No.
He's just an asshole. It's fine. And he's also one of when I was like, whoa, this is a cool character. Whereas I don't something about him just being this like little guy with sunglasses and just like a gun in this like film that's otherwise like, a lot of these characters are more like a lot of the younger characters are very like whimsical and lighthearted, and then you just got this like edgy little shit. That's just that's so striking. This film really captures a lot of tones, like back to the whimsy thing, the little like romance friendship. What do we call it?
I'd say it leans much more romantic, considering the final photo we see at the end of the credits.
True. Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to remind myself what was the final photo.
It's Kenichi and Tama robot repair shop. They like he built her back up again, and they're just living their lives.
Yeah, good for them, because they have really good like little whimsical chemistry. Like sometimes just they don't even have to speak for like, yeah, this is some good like whimsical romance shit,
Yeah.
Saying shit a lot today. I don't know. This movie's not shit. I just what else am I gonna say?
It's cool as shit.
Yeah, it's cool as shit.
Here's the thing: we've been talking about like how cool this movie is and a lot of the fun stuff in it, but we haven't really talked about the direct plot line of what's going on.
Oh yeah,
it's not the most complicated thing. It's there's a mad scientist, a private detective, and his nephew are looking for him. And they get wrapped up in this large, giant conspiracy of robots and power struggles and taking over the world.
And a super weapon.
Yeah.
Super weapon. It's just classic cyberpunk. And actually, Polly, you mentioned did you read the manga this was based on? I know you watched...
I've just been going off of a thing of going like, hey, here's some differences.
Yeah, because I know you did watch the Fritz Lang movie. I
started it. And I didn't finish.
But like from the 40 minutes or so you watched,
it is different because
different.
The vibe, the vibes are very similar, but the interesting thing is like this movie, this anime movie, is looking at all these dehumanization and all these different elements and the technology and all that kind of stuff through a very Japanese lens, very honestly, I'd say post World War II Reconstruction era lens. The original manga was released in 1949, so that's very much on the mind of these kind of things. Whereas the original movie, the 27th movie, is pure German expressionism. So it's a lot more poetic.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense for the 20s. That makes sense for the 1920s,
And a silent movie.
Yeah. Like, I mean, this film, like, it kind of does take inspiration with, like, the color, not the color, it's the word, the visual storytelling in terms of, like, it does, like, it does let its visual speak for itself, but of course, like, an anime movie from 2001 versus a 1920s expressionism, like, silent movie is gonna be much different in how they portray visuals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's still plenty of visual references to that original movie anyways.
Yeah.
Like especially in like one of the first scenes.
Mm-hmm. There's also a little bit of a rhyming between her sitting on the throne and the robot woman in the original Metropolis movie.
Yeah.
It feels a lot more deliberate in this adaptation than it probably was in the original manga.
Yeah. Also, I should mention, because the guy who wrote this film, Katsuhiro Otomoto, I think he's the guy, like, did he write Akira? Just checking. Like, the manga?
I don't know. Hold on.
Yeah, it was written, like, he did, Katsuhiro Otomoto, the guy who wrote this Metropolis movie, not he directed, Rintaro directed it, but, like, the guy who wrote the movie also did the Akira manga. So, like, so this guy's, like, pretty familiar with, like, kind of that, like, technological cyberpunk-esque.
So...
Yeah, he also He also directed the feature film of it. Oh, interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then he would later go on to write Steam Boy. So it all connects.
You know, I never knew that this and Steam Boy were connected, but I do love Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else did Rentaro do? That he's done a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm trying to just. Is there anything like major that we've maybe
Galaxy
seen?
Express 99?
Yeah, Galaxy Express 999 from '79.
Yeah.
Which is the art for the guy who created Galaxy Express is the inspiration for the art in the Daft Punk anime.
Yeah. Also, he did the 2002 Space Harlock anime.
Yeah,
Directed it, or like the OVAs for that.
Harlock is great.
Yeah, I got to read more Harlock. My friend's obsessed with it. They're just like, yeah. So this film kind of connects to a lot of like old school like anime legends. You got Tezuka, you got the Akira writer, you got Rintaro, who's worked on like so many 60s and 70s and 80s OVAs. So just just so much.
So Cody, real quick, I gotta ask, what is your favorite robot in the movie?
Probably what's her name? Fibbit?
Oh,
Fibbit?
Fifi?
Fifi? Yeah.
Fifi? Hold on. I
Probably that character.
Fifi. Yeah, there's the garbage robot.
One. That's a
garbage collecting one. No, they're fun. I like the firefighters.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are very interesting. I also just like the regular robots that are walking around, but there's so many different designs. But I really appreciate Phoebe as a character.
Yeah,
just the unspoken kindness.
That just kind of like reframes all of our like, I wouldn't say reframe, just kind of like grounds us in like, oh, the robots aren't doing anything wrong. It is purely the humans feeling shorted or cast aside, like garbage, like they aren't worth anything anymore, and it's not any of the robots' fault.
Yeah, they're just like a symptom, a victim of all this shit.
Yeah, which also kind of like leans into what happens at the end of she's connected to the data stream of the entire city, and it's like, all right, fuck humanity, kill you all.
Yeah,
you like, I think she literally says, you have mistreated robots, and thus you will be deleted, or something like that.
Yeah, it's like it was their own doing. Like they couldn't treat their creations right. Yeah, shit, man.
Yeah, even I rewatched the first 3 episodes of X-Men today, and a lot of same tones with that as well.
Yeah,
it's strange how we have to keep making art about people being mistreated and how that's kind of a shit thing to do.
Yeah.
Strange how we have to keep circling this fucking hole.
Yep, sometimes you gotta beat it over the head until they finally get it. Until the heat death of the universe.
Just because I'm a little bit of a Wikipedia second screen rabbit hole. Katsushiro Otomo, the writer for this movie and the creator of Akira, wrote a porno.
Yeah, I saw that. That's funny. Well, like, hey, some people, they get their start like with like more like down and dirty work before they get into like the more, I don't want to say proper, because that's mean to NSFW artists.
To more widespread,
yeah. Because I know like there's like an Ultraman writer who started writing shit like that before they wrote for Ultraman.
I mean, some of the best manga artists right now got their start making hentai.
Yeah.
Because like drawing porn, you have to know anatomy really well. You have to know how to bend it right. You have to like you have to know how to
say it that way, huh?
Yeah,
you had to say it.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
But like, I think we should wrap things up on our thoughts. You go first.
This is a great movie, beautifully animated. There are certain segments that are just like you'd love to just put them on loop. Any moment where she's staring into the sun and her hair starts fluttering is just beautifully done, really well rendered, really well animated. Great classic designs, really good throwback vibes, but it isn't like going back and watching an old anime. It is contemporary of its time, well written, well thought through, good music. All around, Metropolis is a good flick.
Yeah,
Hell,
like
yes.
I might have had like a hard time articulating it, but I do love this movie. It is a very good movie that I recommend y'all check out. Like, especially if you want to like expand your palette into more like anime movies that aren't just like shonen tie-in movies or what everyone recommends.
Yeah, may I also just mention it doesn't hold your hand. Like, you have to actually engage with the movie to understand what's going on.
Yeah,
which I appreciate. Like, it's like, oh, thank God, I have to actually think.
yeah.
I guess I will add the note that the use of that Ray Charles song, the actual like reaction I had the first time I saw this movie and heard the use of that Ray Charles song, permanently put that Ray Charles song in like my top 10 songs to listen to just ever, like for the rest of my life. So I was so taken aback by like just complete audio dropout, nothing but spectacle, and blasted by that music. Very interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you picked this movie, Cody, because like I've seen it around, but like I haven't really like. I thank you for letting us sit down and watch it. You know.
Well, I am very tickled that you guys appreciated it to this level. That's great.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Heck yeah! I wonder what we're gonna do next.
Well, it's my turn to pick next. So, recently a game that was ported, that was an Xbox exclusive, came to PlayStation 5. And you have it, Boingo. Don't worry, you have it. Trust me, because we're going to play Hi-Fi Rush next time. We're doing another video game episode, boys.
We're Hi-Fi Russian.
Yeah.
Wait, like Hi-Fi... Wait, is that
the guitar beat-em-up guy with rhythm, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. I wanted to play that anyways.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's on Xbox Game Pass, so you have Game Pass, I have Game Pass. It's easy to play.
I don't know if I have Game Pass anymore. I'll just buy it. It should be coming to PlayStation 5.
It's already on PlayStation 5. That's why I picked it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
but it's on Game Pass and I can play it.
Yeah. I thought you bought it, Boingo, but like, no, hey, you still have...
Yeah.
It's fine. Like, we all have access to the game. I have it on PS5, so it's like, you know, where I played like a couple chapters of it and I'm like, you know what? I think I want to talk about this on the components. I wasn't sure because I was like, everyone got to like spend $30, but $30 is pretty cheap in terms of video games these days, which is sad to say. But
I wanted to play that game regardless, so I appreciate having an
and we are playing the licensed tracks. We're not streaming this, so
yeah,
you're gonna get the full experience.
Yeah, you can stream it if you want. Like, I don't really care like what tracks you use because there's two versions. There's licensed tracks and then there's streamer mode, which has originals. Do whatever you want. I just want you to play the game for as long as you can. You don't have to beat it, but at least beat the first 3 chapters. But like, if you can beat it, you know. So we can talk about like all the story stuff.
I could probably beat it.
Yeah, it's only like 12 hours from what I understand.
And here's the thing, it gives you a lot of stuff to be able to deal with it if you're not that great at rhythm games.
Yeah, there's a lot of customization and modes.
Also,
I should be fine.
Not even seeing the picture at the end of the movie. Here's the picture at the end of the movie where it's Kenichi and Tima having the robot shop.
Hey, thank you so much for sharing. That's cute.
I think Tima's in the car.
Yeah. So Hi-Fi Rush is next up on the Analytical Fanboys docket. So...
Invaders Must Die.
Yeah, Invaders Must Die next time on Analytical Fanboys. But Cody...
I can't wait to hear Cody's thoughts on that segment.
Yeah. You'll Cody, just play it. Just play it. I don't want to say anymore.
Does the game include Invaders Must Die from
Prodigy? Yes.
Oh my god. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, they when they first announced it, well, when they released the game, because it was announced and released on the same goddamn day. That was such a good day. They were like, hey, here's a short list of songs that are in here. And I think there's a song from the Black Keys.
There's a lot of like famous rock punk tracks.
Invaders Must Die. I kind of don't want to talk about the final one.
That's fine.
We'll talk about it like next week.
We'll talk about it next time.
Next month. No, I keep
next month.
Time is an illusion. Boingo, plug your stuff.
Hi, I'm Boingo. I do a variety of things. Twitch.tv/BoingoWriter. I'm on YouTube at BoingoWriter, and you can follow me on a variety of social medias. Links are in the description.
Cody, plug your stuff.
My name is Never_Robot. I promise you I'm not obsessed by robots. or of robots or whatever. How I said that, I incorrectly said it. Outside of that, Snoken83 on gaming platforms, probably. I love you.
Yeah, and I'm Buster Corp. I do videos on things on my YouTube channel. I'm also on various social media platforms. And by various, I mean mostly Twitter and Bluesky. Just check those out. And yeah, this has been Analytical Fanboys, your monthly pick something, one of the hosts picks something for the other host to watch MediaCast. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time for Hi-Fi Rush.